Welcome to The Engaging Life, a podcast about using engagement equity to improve your relationship building skills in your personal and professional life. And now, here are your hosts, Brandon Suba and Angela Cheney.
Angela.
Brandon.
Welcome to the studio.
And no, you welcome to the studio. I've been here all day.
We're at the brick wall. We're in the alley today again.
Yep.
I haven't seen the barn doors in a while. That's
I know. I have to bring the barn doors back.
Yeah, we'll have to put a request into there. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the Engaging Life podcast. Check us out on YouTube, on the UbiTubi. If you're a long-term listener, you get that joke pretty well, but we always appreciate you listening, even if you're just listening.
And not watching to see
And not
Brandon's
watching.
beautiful stripy shirt that you may recognize from last episode.
Or last season, too, because it's been a while.
If you do recognize it, you watch way too closely.
I disagree. If you recognize it, please leave a comment because I will send you flowers and cookies.
And the shirt.
Yeah, sure. You want the shirt? But I think it's boring. That's why I don't wear it. It's just
perfectly fine
it's
shirt.
Just stripes. It's boring.
Okay.
It's boring. I got a Jurassic Park shirt. It has hidden raptors in it. That one's fun.
Oh, wear that next time.
I don't. Oh yeah, we're not green screen, so I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I try to avoid greens whenever on the camera because if we ever did green screen.
Oh yeah, then you disappear.
Green screen.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so let's not get off this topic as we did last time. We really got off topic.
We really did. We went into the weeds.
I don't even remember what we got in the weeds.
We were talking about the color.
Oh yes, the color
best
season.
Colors to wear.
Color season. Here we are.
We're both
again.
winters, in case you've forgotten.
I did not. So you finished the CVJ.
I did. We wrapped it up with 7 and 8. Promote and advocate.
And
advocate and promote.
You do flip flop them, don't you?
Every time.
Every time. You got to advocate before you can promote. Oh, and it's alphabetical. You taught me that.
Okay.
That one. So A
Good
before
thing.
P.
And like the AP, Associated Press.
There you go.
Advocate, promote. I'll never forget again. That's a lie.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. We'll see if we can make through this. So anyways, as I parallel along with that, this is a topic that I've done education on. And again, I'm focusing on hard contact groups. We'll venture off that a little bit in this episode, but this is going to be pretty specific because not all groups really go this route. Actually, I'm seeing hard groups getting away from hard contact groups, getting away from doing this at the end of the meeting too. But it was a big piece in the original groups that I was in. And what many years taught me is you can do this the right way, you can do this the lazy way, or you can do this the wrong way. Oh. And I think it's one of those, it's just assumed that people know how to do it.
Okay.
So I thought, what a great way to close out season 3 with a topic that you probably can't find another podcast on specifically, but I'm going to help you out today.
Exciting.
And you're going to be one of the best testimonial givers. That's the topic, testimonials in your group. So first I want to start with kind of what we're going to be talking about as far as testimonial goes, because we talked about it in the last episode. And I liked you saying testimonials don't have the value they used to hold because of, fill in the blank, online reviews. What's the other fluff that we got to deal with in there?
They're curated.
Curated. You have
paid actors.
Yes. Oh yeah, the paid actors, right?
Or knowing that the company's probably writing them themselves.
That's sad, but true.
It is.
So what I'm talking about though is at the end of a traditional hard contact agenda, it's usually the referral and testimonial part. And I'm not going to give the history because it's just B&I history, honestly, on why this exists. But I do see a good value on being able to talk about your experience and how great someone treated you or your referral that you gave them.
Sure.
Because in essence, it can lead to more referrals.
Yep.
Right? I was on the fence. I heard this. You had such a great experience. I'm in now. I'll do this. So when we talk about these referrals, I'm really focusing on that last part of the meeting, the end of the meeting. But testimonials, in essence, online reviews, right? Those are testimonials that come, and those have their questionables.
They do
out there.
They do.
And when you're asking for a referral opportunity, testimonials give you more credibility for someone that, once again, may have been on the fence. Well, I like Angie, but I don't know if I trust you. And then somebody talks about their amazing experience they had with Pixel Fire. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, this makes sense then.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really the testimonials that we're going to focus on today. Because when I say I've seen this in many different ways, I want to say this one right out of the bat because I didn't put it in the notes and I remembered it on the way here. One thing to avoid and I'll talk about more to avoid later, but one thing to avoid is don't use negative. Even if it's sarcasm, don't use negative in there. And here's, I heard this more than once, and this is why I want to get this out of the way. A lawn care company joins a group.
Okay.
They are doing fertilizer for half the group because that's one of those good referrals where you can test them out a little for low cost, right? We like those. And I think I'm even guilty of doing this. I don't want to be, but let's say it's your lawn care company. Ready? And Angie, I'm really pissed off at you because I had to mow twice this week because your stupid fertilizer works so dang good. No, there's sarcasm in there. It's funny, but it's a negative, right? And like testimonials, they should be positive. They should be the good experience.
And you know what that is to me?
What?
The testimonial giver trying to draw attention to themselves.
Look
how
you see that. Yes.
I am.
Yep. You see that so well. See, I miss that because I want attention. I'm an attention wanter, grabber. So that's a good point though. It is. And again, how does that reflect on the testimony you're giving? Because
it weakens it.
It weakens it. And what I saw, the progression of the good and the bad, is it's like you almost shouldn't have said anything at this point.
Yeah. And
that probably would have been more effective than what you did say because you bashed them.
And then even though you're trying to do, something, you're trying to say something good, not only did you put all the emphasis on you and what a funny storyteller you are, but you're also going to have those people going, I don't want to mow twice a week. I don't care how it made their lawn. I don't want to mow twice. Yes. They're not going to take it in the spirit it was intended.
And it very well you didn't have to mow
Probably
twice.
Not.
You know what I mean? You're just trying to be funny about it. So here's why these are important. And we've talked about kind of how it can harm you a little bit there. But in a group, this can drive more closed referrals.
A good testimonial.
A good testimonial can drive more closed referrals. Because again, if you're on the fence or if you're just not comfortable with that member yet, that testimonial is almost your opportunity to try out their business without having to try it out.
Can I backtrack a little? Are we going to talk more about the sarcastic referrals or should I make my point now?
We can get to what to avoid and we can bring it up there, but generally we forget things. So
so I'll go ahead.
Yeah, just go ahead.
The other dangerous thing, and I have seen this happen in so many groups, is when one person makes a funny, everybody else in the group thinks they need to make a funny. That they usually continue to get less and less funny as they go around. And then you've completely lost the track. It almost becomes a spoof group at that point, where whatever any of them are saying has lost all value because it's just them trying to one up the person in front of them. Yep. And if you've got that sort of dynamic, just one person making a funny, it basically ruins the whole meeting.
Sets the whole thing off. That happened in my meeting, and I was part of this. I know for a fact. And we had a visit. We had a sub, but one of the subs that had subbed in many areas, Super sub. And she point blank, she said, you know what? If I was a visitor here today, I wouldn't join because of you guys, you three over there. You think you're funny, but it really didn't come off that way today.
That's fantastic.
It was.
Were you one of them?
I was.
I want to be her friend.
I promise you it was not insulting.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what you said. It just got less funny every time.
Yeah.
And we probably drug it out.
Yeah.
Right. But we were bashing each other. That whole, yes.
You acted like you were on the golf course after 3 beers instead of in a networking group.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again.
Easy to do, especially if you've been in the group a while and you know each other and your buddies.
Oh, and we were.
Yeah.
We were. And this happens with referrals too, right? We've talked, the same thing can happen with referrals. But now you're defeating the purpose.
Yes.
And I feel these groups, they should be a positive experience. Now, yes, you are going to have challenges in life.
For as many people as possible.
Correct.
Not just the clique.
We all know the cliques.
Yeah.
I can say I don't think I usually fit into cliques very well. I'm too social.
I certainly don't.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
If I see a clique, I don't even care. It could be a wine-drinking, book-loving clique, which is right up my alley.
That writes stories on the side.
Yeah, and I'd be like, ooh, that's a clique. I'm going to go hang out with the skateboarding pot smokers, which I don't like either of those things. But they're not cliquey.
But they ain't clicking over here.
Yeah.
All right, so why testimonials? Okay, why testimonials? Okay, so the first one, yes, it will drive more closed business for the member. That's ultimately, I think that was the whole point of having it at the end of the meeting. Well, yeah, the story that it drives from it is. Okay, you're giving more credibility to that member also.
Yes.
And when we talk about the VCP process, which is what we started season 3 with on my side, but the credibility is that stage that you can sit in for a really, really long time. Visibility's, in my opinion, pretty easy. If you show up to the meetings, you do the extra stuff, and
it's just
and
like
you participate.
step 1, build awareness.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Right. And if
pretty much it.
You're great.
I'm here.
But everything in between and the credibility piece, that can take a lot longer. Well, positive, good testimonials are going to speed that process up with some other members in the group.
I also want to say that another, and you may have this on your agenda, but got to say it now.
See the agenda, but yes.
My eyes. I don't see it that well. Is that you have probably built your credibility in the group, but you haven't built your team's credibility in the group. They get to know you, but unless you're a one-man show who's doing all the work, so this is really big with us. I'm not doing hardly any of the work at Pixel Fire. I'm the face. I'm in the podcast. I do some of the writing. And so if I'm in a group, they can trust me and know me all they want, but I ain't building their website.
Right.
So then if somebody comes up and say, Angela's fantastic. You all know Angela. Hey. But the team at Pixel Fire is also fantastic, and that is something that somebody in the group would not know already.
That's good. And that would make a good testimonial.
Yes.
Because you're going beyond that. And then the last one here is we live in the world of online reviews. And we talked about the last episode. I'm not going to beat this dead horse, but truly people want to know a little more about anything they're going to invest money into nowadays. Be it if you're buying a product, you're hiring a company, all of those things matter, and it is going to affect your decision. And if you have somebody, and you said this in the last one, that consistently it is bad, but it's all the same bad. It's not this one-off. You're probably not going to use the company, but you may also have saved yourself a headache or loss of money. So that's where testimonials are so important. So here's what no one talks about. How do you give a testimonial? And even I did training for these groups, like new member training. We talked about it, but we never said how. So I have some tips and tricks for you. So the obvious, easy one that we all know and love is the verbal testimonial at the meeting.
Yes.
These rarely have any thought behind them, and there's so other ways to show that you care, but instead, I don't have a referral, so I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say, gosh, Angela, you did a great job for that one post I asked your help with for 7 months ago, and really just great job.
Yep.
Right?
Tick in a box.
Or a verbal testimonial. If it takes more than a minute to share it, you're sharing too much.
Yes.
Because this is not the time for you to entertain us. So verbal, that one's easy, but let's put a little more thought into it. All right. So I challenge you to write down your testimonial ahead of time.
Okay.
Because then, just like me with my emails and pretty much everything I write, I edit the crap out of that thing before I hit send, because I take out some of the fluff. What's not important, what really didn't make sense, because I started tripping over my words, which is what you do when you're just making it up. So you write it down. Well, now you have a written testimonial that you've put thought into, and putting time into anything shows that you care a little.
And then that person has the actual written testimonial that they can then translate.
So here's my recommendation is in the meeting, you read it and then you go hand it to them.
Okay.
Because we talked about businesses writing their own testimonials. I firmly believe there is huge power in seeing someone hand another person a tool that they can use to grow their business.
Absolutely.
And in an environment where we're handing out referrals, why not hand out a testimonial? And Angela, my credibility with you, I hope, is not horrible. But if I were to take the time to write it, what if I even laminated the stupid thing or put it on my letterhead, signed it, all of that, and gave that to you? Where's my credibility going to go?
Way up.
Way up. And maybe my credibility was a little shaky with you for some stupid joke I made.
Yeah.
This is going to show that extra piece of like, yeah, every now and then I fall when we're just chatting. But when it comes to business, I'm really serious and I want to help your business. So that's my challenge to you. Take the time and write it down. Now, we all have great intentions at these meetings, and then when we leave, we don't do anything. So the last step then is go on their socials and put this on there. And you can always pick out the person that's not going to write your online review. And here's how you know they're not going to. They're like, do you know you have to do like 3 of them before they let you post? Because you know what they've never done? They've never gotten past the 3 to be inactive. Because what was a big, before, I mean, Google's always been around, but what was like a big review? Yelp, right? You don't hear much about Yelp anymore. But didn't they have the rules of you had to do so many before they'd start sending them?
Yeah.
And I like that. Because then you're not going to get, it eliminates the bad too. Because you can't just go write one bad one and then walk away. So I see the point behind that. But when people are complaining about it, that means they hate doing it.
They're probably not going to
and they're not going to give it to you. Nope, you're not going to get it. So just as the more effort and the more work you put in a referral, it's the same with the testimonial. And this is why it drives me up the wall that these organizations spend hours and billions of dollars on how to teach you how to pass a good referral and then give a good testimonial.
Right.
Just go do that.
Right.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit more to work with in the testimonial world. Now, you're not always going to have an environment like a hard contact group to do all these things. I understand that, but I firmly believe the written, signed, and given, even if the whole world doesn't see it, and that's just me wanting to be famous, or the online, they're going to see your name.
Yes.
They're going to know that you wrote that. And a lot of the businesses that I think we aim this for, right, these podcasts for, they're reading their reviews.
Yeah.
They're seeing who's putting them on there.
I think the other thing, if you do something like that too, what's everybody else in the group going to want to do? Give you great service.
Yep.
Because they know that you are capable of doing this thing for somebody else in the group. I want to give him some great service.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Or I really want to take such great care of your referral. And then that improves it there. So I've got a story that I want to share because this one blindsided me. I did not see this coming at all. And it was probably one of the coolest things I've seen out of the bajillion of meetings I've been to. So it was a dentist in my group and she needed a sub.
Okay.
And so the sub that she chose, he was a financial planner. Obviously we had one in the group. They're in every group. And she told him, you won't be able to talk about your business. And I don't know if she asked him or not. But basically, he came from a different country with his whole family, including children. They needed a dentist. They were introduced to her, and just how she onboarded them, treated the family, took care of the kids, and all of this, it impacted him so much that was his testimonial at the end of the meeting.
Wow.
So it was one of the greatest testimonials. It wasn't even done by another member. It was done by an actual client that in theory could not gain anything out of this group because we already are committed to our other financial advisor. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe I've never thought of this. One of your best subs is one of your clients. And just like we said in step 8, ask them to share that story.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get emotional, but she literally made their coming to America experience the best. And it was by cleaning their teeth.
Yeah.
How simple. So to me, and that opened up my eyes to the power of a testimonial also, because I knew how I felt, right? No one remembers what you say, but they'll remember how they make you feel.
Right.
I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. So I don't ever want to do an episode on subs. We can, I don't want to. But a great sub is one of your
There's
clients.
a lot of information there that people do subs so wrong.
They do.
And
well, maybe
subs
we
do
have
it so wrong.
I know I've done one way back in the day.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. Okay, so we've talked about how we can give better testimonials. We talked about what these look like. Let's talk about what to avoid.
Okay.
And we've already touched on that a little bit, but let's dig into some of these here. The same testimonial every week. And this is nails on a chalkboard for me. So in a group, you have a real estate agent. They're a married couple. So they're a team. Husband would show up one week. Wife would show up the next week.
Okay.
And they were very consistent on it. It was great. One of the members built a deck on a home they were selling. I'm sure it enhanced the sell. Regardless, it was a good experience. So the husband's there. He shares the story because now the house is sold and the deck is done. Great. Next week, the wife is there. She shares the story.
Oh, it's the same story.
Same story. But I'm like, okay, maybe they didn't talk. I mean, I probably wouldn't set Liz up for success. So I can totally see this happening. Next week, husband's there. Shares the same testimony.
Oh, no.
You can guess what happened next week when she was there. Same testimonial. It went on for 2 months. 2 months. every meeting, they talked about this deck.
Whoops.
It lost all of its value.
Absolutely.
All of its value, because it's like, you're just sharing this because you didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that's why putting any work into a testimonial and not flying shows I am not doing this because I don't have anything else. And some groups make you speak during that time. I truly feel this way.
You're right.
Which also reduces the testimonials you have, which is good because they're going to be more heartfelt.
Yeah.
We talked about this, I guess, giving a testimony on the fly. And
Yeah.
my big thing for that is I want to thank Angela for the help that she did. I have a referral for Bob over here. And Greg, I had something.
Oh, how many times have I seen that?
It was a testimonial for it. Gosh dang it, what'd you do for me? And then Greg's like, I don't know, I've been mowing your lawn for 6 months because you hired me. Is that what you were going to talk about? Like, again, with no preparation behind it, if you're just trying to fill space, you're hurting yourself more by saying something than if you were to just
And you're hurting the person you're giving the testimonial for. It's like, I didn't care enough about what you did for me to put any work into this whatsoever, or you're so unmemorable.
Yeah.
I had something for you. I don't remember what you did for me. Oh, great. Thanks for the testimonial.
I know.
So,
it's worse. I do love the people that write stuff down. Like they have their list for that time because A, they don't hold up the meeting. B, and we went over to online entering, like stats just plummeted. It was so because no one was doing it.
Right.
But you would hope that if they were held accountable to enter everything, at least they have a record. I wouldn't. I'd be like, I'm trying to get caught up here. I couldn't even tell you the one-to-ones I did last week. Like it just shows that they care a little bit more. And then the last thing is just passing a verbal testimonial.
Yeah.
There's so much value to going even half a step more than just saying it. Having it written down is valuable. Giving it to them is valuable. And also giving the member a heads up that you're going to share that testimony, I think is kind of cool too.
Oh, absolutely. Make sure they're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
had that one. But you have this great testimony again. They're like, they're not here.
Or
Wah, wah.
Or the most vicious thing. Well, Angie's not at the meeting today, but what I wanted to tell her was, it's like we didn't need to address that Angie wasn't there today.
Yeah, thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah. And she's not even here to defend herself. So again, I feel this is a topic that's rarely ever talked about, but yet very commonly used. There's value to the member and to yourself, your credibility by giving a good testimonial. So it's a super easy test. When you're giving a testimonial, if you've only done one step and that's literally just saying it, you can do a little more. If you've done 2 steps and you wrote it down, you're rocking. And that 3rd step, if you take the 5-10 minutes to go online on another date, another time, and write it on there, I think that's the most impactful thing you can do for a fellow member.
Absolutely. I think the takeaway from all of this season that you have done is hard networking groups are expensive. They are a huge time suck. Yep. They take a lot of energy. So if you're going to do all that, why not do them right?
Yeah.
You know, half-assing it is only hurting you. And number one, if you can't do all these things, if you can't put it into it, don't join the group.
Don't join.
And the bigger one that I see is normally people can do all this stuff, but they usually spread themselves too thin. And they're in like 5 different types of groups and are half-assing all of them.
Yeah.
And so my advice would be, and it's something I have had to do because I used to be that person, is say no and focus on, some people have the emotional and energy and time capacity to do 2. You know, some just 1. The very rare person, especially if it's their full, you know, some people, their full-time job is to network.
Yes. Yep.
So they can handle more if they do it correctly, but know yourself, know how much you can handle. And again, it's not just time. It's emotional, it's mental, it's energy. Know what your limit is. Choose the one that is going to be the best for you and give it your all.
I don't think we could have wrapped up season 3 any better.
I don't think so either.
Because if you made it this far and you got that advice, well, if you made it this far, you probably are a good candidate to go ahead and join that group. But I think that's the best advice you could give somebody that's looking to join a hard contact group, because what most people see first is the price. And if they can get over that, because who cares? Some people, their marketing budgets, it's just like, whatever, this won't hurt.
Right.
But then look at the time and then look at the emotion.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure I gave an example on how it can hurt you
Absolutely.
by doing things wrong on every piece of a meeting now.
Yes.
And I've seen it. I have heard it from other people. This is not just my personal opinion. And I know for a fact there are businesses that, name your number, 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 members, will never use their business because of how they were.
And they
in
tell
that
other
group.
people.
And then they promote it. First they advocate for it, and then they promote
The
it.
way you don't want them to.
Exactly. Oh man, well, good season 3.
Absolutely. I'm
You know, this was
excited
a
for
blast.
season 4.
You are excited for season 4, and that got me excited for season 4.
Because we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be real fun.
So thank you for joining us on season 3 of the Engaging Life podcast. We'll see you next season.